We're back. Thanks for staying with us. Joined now by Dr. Michael Shepard. He's the president of Enosi Life Sciences Incorporated. Dr. Shepard, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Don. It's great to talk to you again. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, it's a pleasure having you on the show. And it's been a while since we spoke to the company and to you. Why don't you tell us again what Enosi Life Sciences does?
Enosi Life Sciences is a research and development company discovering drugs to treat autoimmune disease and cancer.
Well, you are kind of famous in that arena by yourself because you helped develop a novel treatment for breast cancer. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, thanks. Yeah, the breast cancer drug is the first antibody ever to successfully treat cancer. And so far it's been used to treat about 2.5 million women. It's called Herceptin. And there are very few drugs that are as effective as Herceptin, but even with the great activity that Herceptin has with breast cancer patients, there's still a very great need to create drugs that work by different mechanisms but are just as effective. So that's what we're doing now with Enosi. It is trying to do just as well as we did for breast cancer, but for other types of diseases, cancer and autoimmune disease both.
What are the certain challenges or unique challenges with respect to autoimmune diseases that you have to take into account?
Well, I think everybody appreciates that cancer is a difficult problem. It has to do with the disease cell itself. It has to do with the immune system and all kinds of other things. With autoimmune disease, it's primarily an immunology thing, meaning your white cells, all of those different kinds of white cells and things, T cells, B cells. And immunology is just very, very complicated. And there are a lot of different parts to it. And something can go wrong with any of those parts and result in an autoimmune disease. That's why autoimmune disease is so common. You know, more than 25% of the population has some kind of autoimmune disease disorder. And because all these different parts interact with one another, it turns out that the same 2 or 3 things that give rise to one patient's autoimmune disease, and then there could be a different combination of 3 or 4 things that give rise to another patient's autoimmune disease. So the key to a successful treatment for autoimmune disease is to find out, is to figure out what's happening with all those cell types in order to give the same result. In a big chunk of autoimmune disease, the answer is the different kinds of immune cell types end up producing a hormone called tumor necrosis factor. And that hormone causes a systemic inflammation, and it might particularly affect your joints, or it might particularly affect your muscle. And some autoimmune diseases will also affect your parts of your brain. So immunology is a very, very difficult area. an advantage that Enosi has in trying to tackle these problems is that one of the co-founders, Sir Mark Feldman, has been at the top of that field for about 20 years. He's seen all the new drugs that have appeared, and he's seen them either succeed or fail. And he's been able to look at what types of patients succeed with the therapies and which do not. And together, we've been able to define new ways of attacking autoimmune disease that should be useful for bigger groups of patients and should also be less toxic to the patients themselves.
That's remarkable. Now, I know the company has a private offering that investors can choose to participate in what you're trying to do. Tell us about the offering.
Well, we actually have two levels of offering. One is crowdfunding, which we'll be wrapping up soon. And the other one is called 506C, which is for accredited investors only. And we will keep that open, that fundraising channel. We will keep that open. The reason why we can sort of move away from open crowdfunding is we have negotiations ongoing with partners in the United States, in Europe, and even in China to help us develop our drugs. And so we want to focus on those partnerships more than we have in the past.
We've got your website address on screen, enosi-life.com. Is that where people can get more information about it?
EnosiLife.com is the best place to go.
Once again, Enosi Life Sciences Incorporated, Dr. Michael Shepard. Dr. Shepard, it's always a pleasure having you on the program. Best of success in your efforts. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Donald. It's good to see you again. Thank you for the invitation. Goodbye.